Hi, I'm Arjun. I work in strategy in the healthcare industry.
And I'm Akanksha and I work on my own thing with parents and children. Come, I'll take you through the house. So this is our living room, and when we were done designing from a perspective of what rugs do we want, what table and what furniture we want, the conversation moves to decor, right? And then it's about what art do you want to put on the walls or what do you want for your coffee table. And we wanted it to be a little personal. We didn't want coffee table books that we would never open, or art that was an artist that is unknown to us, or art that we can't speak of. And so we actually decided to get this art made for us, and this is very special because these 8 tiles are actually symbolic of different parts, different people from our family and each of us. But I'll especially talk about 3 people who are very, very close to us as a family, but they've left at different points, they've passed away, and so we wanted them to kind of live in this house with us. So specifically this one is actually a tile that is symbolic of my father. H22D was actually my childhood home address, and this house is sort of underneath the ground and giving rise to this new house, which is the house with the tree. And similarly, this one is of Lord Jagannath. This tile is symbolic of my father-in-law, Arjun's father, who was not just devoted to this god, but also named his business after him. And we got married in the Jagannath temple. So this is our way of kind of remembering him in the house. And this style is actually in the infinity sign. What you can see here are 2 embryos. They're scans of my daughter Malhar, who was conceived via IVF. So we actually have a picture of her as just a group of cells. And next to her is actually her twin, who we lost in the first trimester. So this is our way of having these 3 family members live with us in this house that they couldn't actually see for real. And in this style, where I said that this old house is giving birth to the new house with the tree, I just want to show you the tree that I'm talking about here. So when we were on the lookout for a house in Bangalore, and we actually used to live in Delhi, we decided to relocate for cleaner air, for better weather, for more green. And when we were looking out for houses, the whole city was actually on the map for us, because unlike more traditional relocation where you do it for a job or you do it for some other purpose, for us it was just, hey, we want to move to Bangalore. And so when we started looking, we've looked at houses across the city. We've looked at houses in Whitefield, we've looked at houses in different parts, but a particular broker actually said, hey, do you want to look at this house? And he sent us a video that I think he had made. And inside the house was this patch of soil and a tree, not this tree, but a tree that was growing. And I remember getting really excited saying, could we potentially have a tree inside our house? Like, you don't get that, especially when you live in Delhi, you don't have that. So we realized this is the house that we wanted to buy. The tree with the skylight over it is something that we really, really liked. And we knew that we would then be buying a tree that we would adopt and kind of move into our house. So this is one of the very special parts of our house. And this tree was actually transplanted and it shed everything. And is starting to come back to life. So we like to see it as this tree sort of growing with us and with our family. And there's a lot of fresh green in it. So we kind of keep talking to it and we sing songs to it every time we see a new thing come up, and it's really exciting. My daughter does it too. So yeah, this is just a new family member that we're very proud of.
Let me take you through my favorite corner of my house. This is my coffee corner. So as you can make out, I'm a big coffee fanatic, and wherever I go, I used to buy like all these coffee equipments, beans and different ways to make coffee, manual machines and so on. But I never had a place to like keep and display everything. So when we bought this house, I told my wife that, look, I need one dedicated corner for all my coffee equipment where I can display everything that I have. And yeah, she was kind enough to give this corner to me. And yeah, I think over here we display all the machines. I have my coffee grinder and my newly acquired espresso machine, which I use every day to make my fresh brew. On top, we have my manual coffee equipment. We have the French press, the siphon, the espresso machine. So this is basically me in a corner, and me and my life. Nice splash of color over there with the greenery, but I love how this kind of the space really blends into the outside garden area where it's like the inside-outside vibe going. The other part of the house, this corner, which I really like, is this dining table, which is so beautiful. And I have to tell you, I mean, we were very keen on doing something different, not the regular wood table. So our designer, Anisha, shout out Anisha Chandy, she introduced us to this material called micro-topping or micro-cement, which is essentially a thin layer of micro-cement which can be put on like any surface, and it gives this really nice, earthy, solid body to this dining table. And I just love what this table does in this corner. And I think we really enjoy like the whole family coming together and eating a meal together. This corner is our kitchen, the open kitchen layout. I always wanted an open kitchen. Growing up in a small apartment, we never had one. So we were very keen to keep the space open. The other direction we went through was the black theme. I mean, it's not very common. Mostly in India, we like to keep things light and airy, which is fine. But I was very keen on exploring a black theme for the kitchen. And so if you notice, like all the cabinets, our electronics, our appliances are all black, and I really love the interplay of the light rubber wood and the black cabinets that we have going on here. So it's just, honestly, in the background, it's just a stunning feature to have for us. And love this breakfast counter where my daughter and I have dosas in the morning, freshly cooked from the stove. So I think this whole corner gives us a very nice warm vibe every morning.
So this is our garden, right? And when you want a space in Bangalore and you get to do it from scratch, you obviously want a lot of green space. And we realized that as a family, we wanted a space where we can just sit in the morning, start our day together. And Arjun was very particular about the way he wanted it designed, and our designer and he worked together to make sure it wasn't all grass, so that there's some spaces for us to sit. This curved bench was something that they were very keen on designing. And he said, I'm not going to let you change the landscape of the garden too much, because I'm known to just come in, add color, or like go rogue, which he said, you're not going to be allowed to do. He gave me orange flowers in one corner. He said, this is another tree that will grow with us and it's going to have pink flowers at some point. We have some birds that come and greet us every day on this tree as well. But I did do something that I wasn't technically allowed to do. I got these lemon plants and these curry leaf plants, and I've just put them here because what these plants do is that they attract butterflies. And butterflies actually love eating these two plants. So they come, they eat the plants, they then lay eggs in these plants, and then you have more butterflies in your garden. So this was my way of naturally getting more color into the garden, which I was not allowed to do at all. But we love it. We love that there's a nice mix of natural stone but also grass. When we were designing, we imagined and dreamed about our daughter sitting under this tree and reading a book. It may never happen, but we love the idea of it and the dream of it. And so this garden is really a quiet place for us to all come together and sort of start our mornings.
So let me show you our second other living room on the first floor. So you may be noticing this is very different from the rest of the house. We have a lot of colors, a riot of colors, as I would call it. We're heavily inspired by the whole boho retro theme. So a lot of like mustard and blues and teals, and even the decor both goes with that. So This is a place where the family likes to get together, watch TV, hang out, chill, and just do regular family things. And in this corner is my favorite part of this floor, which is my reading corner. I have this beautiful bookshelf, this 3-tier bookshelf where I keep all our books. This lovely chair and a bed where you can have a book, read, play board games one day with my daughter, hopefully. And so generally a very nice, warm, cozy corner for reading, playing board games, or just having a glass of wine.
So this is our daughter's room, Malhar, and this is of course known as the rainbow room. Malhar is actually a rainbow baby, and what that means in the infertility world is a baby born to parents after they lost a child. So Malhar had a twin, we lost her or him in the first trimester, and so we consider Malhar to be a very precious rainbow baby, and so rainbows had to be part of a lot of things to do with her. Her name Malhar is actually inspired by the rag that brings rain, and so we actually, while designing this room, we wanted to have no very specific stereotypical colors. We didn't want a pink room because she's a girl, but we really did want to bring in the rainbow in some form. So we had an artist actually hand paint this rainbow flowing all across the room and through the elements, and it's magical. But it's very nice that my nephew, her cousin, who's 14 years older than her, actually had this sun lamp in his room as a child, and now that he's 17 and he's outgrown this kind of lamp, he passed it on to Malhar, and now it makes a very nice add-on to her rainbow room. From a design perspective, we wanted to keep this room as open as possible. Her bed is a single bed for the most part, but it doubles up and opens into a double bed if we ever have guests or if we ever need that added space, right? So we got that functionality into her room, but we got to keep the space open. And we've had this play area for her that she can kind of climb onto, crawl in that space, spend some time over there with her toys. Sometimes she takes her books up. A lot of her friends come over from the neighborhood, and they all have a little bit of a party in the loft area, and it's really special to see that. We also made sure to intentionally keep spaces in her room open and accessible. So her bookshelves are all, the way toddlers can't read, so for them to access books by the cover, we have a little tower for her to climb on to access books that might be away from a height perspective. We've kept her shelves open for 2 reasons. One, it keeps things a little less cluttered. It's a little less overwhelming for them. But also, I in my company, Moving Minds, I do a lot of programs with toddlers and their caregivers, where we spend a lot of time with sensory equipment and open-ended toys. So even in her room, I have a lot of pretend play, a lot of magnets, Play-Doh, a lot of musical instruments that are specifically designed for small children to hold in their hands and make music with. So since I do this program, I decided to kind of design her room that way as well. We have a balancing board for a lot of cross motor and balancing help, and a lot of encouraging of crawling, which is also very important as toddlers develop. So that was the idea. She spends a lot of time in her room doing all of the things that I just mentioned, but also she has become friends with the farmer who works over there on that land, and they spend a lot of time talking to each other, calling out to each other, and I love it because during different seasons she can actually see different things that are growing and how they look different. So she's almost learning unintentionally about so many sustainable things, and it's really nice. So we love seeing her spend so much time in her room and have fun and own the space, and we can't wait for her to realize how intentionally we had designed